California has gone full-blown commie crazy trying to stop Paramount Skydance from purchasing Warner Brothers Discovery and, yes, CNN. A judge saying, think again. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to tell you it's going to go through. This is happening. And the damage to LA, to Hollyweird, to Burbank just might be more than they can handle. It's a fantastic day, ladies and gentlemen. We're so happy that you come our way. An attitude of gratitude every single time you decide to click on one of these videos. Welcome to the Pro Channel, where we continue to deliver you the news you need to know, and keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do. Folks, click that like button if you're not yet subscribed. We'd love to have you join us. And now we're enjoined together to explain why California yet again has gone insane. Is Paramount down for the count? A judge has decided to stop, seemingly, the purchase of Warner Brothers Discovery by Paramount Skydance. The Ellisons being delayed, they might say, but I'm here to tell you, folks, we've told you this is on the way. It's still on the way. It's still going to happen. It's always going to happen. There's no way this stops it. It's just going to annoy the Ellisons, the family that owns Paramount Skydance, and it's going to bounce them right out of California. We'll talk about it in just a second, but Variety has this to say. A judge has ordered a temporary halt to the Paramount-Warner Brothers merger. A state coalition of very blue states argued the merger would violate federal antitrust law, leading to higher prices and fewer movies and TV shows. I don't think that's true. If the deal is not closed by September 30th, in other words, if they can't get this through the courts in essentially 2 months, Paramount will start to owe millions of dollars a day to Warner Brothers investors. All right, what does Variety have in terms of the article? Gene Madhouse is reporting on this one. Let's dive into it. It says, Judge Araceli Martinez Alguin granted a 14-day restraining order after hearing argument from both sides on Friday morning. It says plaintiff states, showing at least demonstrates that serious questions going to the merits remain, weighed in favor of preliminary injunction relief. Paramount and Warner Brothers will continue to operate as separate, viable companies competing in the marketplace while they wait for the court to adjudicate this case, which is obviously not how Paramount wants this to be going. All right, where did this happen? Well, this is a 12-state coalition. Again, I'm telling you, it's the most blue states in the country, led by California, brought a motion for the temporary restraining order. It says the 14-day restraining order could be extended as long as to 28 days. Martinez Alguin, U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California in Oakland, is the one who did this. And Rob Bonta, is that right, Gary? Is it Bonta or Bonta, the Attorney General of California?
You take your pick, doesn't matter.
There you go. Hailed the judge's ruling as a critical first win in our case to ensure this mega merger never sees the light of day. Says history tells the tale of what happens when a few people have great power over markets that are central to Americans' lives, fewer opportunities for more people, worse products and services for all people. A Paramount spokesperson said the company is grateful for the court's swift order on the motion for a TRO. In other words, they're happy that they're going to appeal this and win this very quickly. So the problem here is, Gary, this is going to go through. That's not the problem, but it is. It's going to go through. This is going to be appealed. It's going to make its way through. This potentially could actually go all the way up to SCOTUS if it keeps going this way. Gary, the thing here is, though, the Ellisons are going to be very inclined to say, we're out of here. We're done with California. And that when they have Paramount, Skydance, Warner Brothers Discovery all combined together, including CNN and all this other stuff, when that giant company that's being formed leaves California, there's talk of it going to Tennessee. There's talk of it going to Texas. There's talks of it going to Nevada, a few sprinklings of New Jersey. I don't think that's going to happen. But when that leaves, that's a Disney-sized company exiting California, and it's another hit to Hollywood. So, Gary, I think ultimately this is just a horrible anti-California action that's being taken both by the AG and the judge. What say you?
They can't help themselves as being the dictators of these companies' lives. You know, like if you don't do what a judge says, then, you're going to the gulag. That's how these people think in this state, which is where I am. Yeah, they don't realize that they can just pack up camp and set up the circus in another state that will be more appreciative and welcoming to them. Tennessee would be great. Texas, but I think Tennessee would be a fantastic state for them to go to. Yeah, I hope they leave. I really do. I hope they pack the entire studio up and leave.
Gary, you're a lifelong Californian. Walk us through what it's like right now in Los Angeles and around the Hollywood area in particular, given the poor politics of the state that's driving this kind of economic, I can't call it the S word here on YouTube, but what, self-immolation? That doesn't sound as good. Self-deletion?
Well, let's see. Los Angeles, the fires are high, the floods are low. The water never meets the fire for some reason. But I know right here, I'm about 4.5 hours away from Los Angeles. And here I'm dodging insane people on the streets. 1 in 5 people that I see on the street are homeless. That's not an exaggeration. Not only have my friends been assaulted, I've been assaulted. No help from local authorities. It's a mess. And I think I'm very thankful that I'm not in Los Angeles anymore, because I've heard it's even worse there. Not only is their infrastructure failing, but they're 1,000 times worse with people in the streets. Crime is outrageous. I love how the governor says that there's no crime because he just simply doesn't report it. The studio system is pretty much, I don't even think they shoot anything in Los Angeles anymore.
Well, they shoot stuff, but not movies.
Not very much. Yeah. I mean, they used to shoot television. The last time I spoke to my friends there who are supplying these studios with art materials and things like that, they said all the work's dried up, all of it. They had all the shows. They had Mandalorian. They had some of the Marvel movies. They're all gone. All that stuff's being done in another country. And I don't even know why anybody would go to Los Angeles anymore. And now you can't even drive through it. You actually physically can't drive through it. You'll just end up in a 30-foot ditch.
It's not lost upon me that we've got celebrities who've made millions of dollars through capitalism, screeching that capitalism is evil and we should all switch to socialism, but they're not giving up their money. They're not giving up their houses. And they are applauding right now. I guess, Lauren, will go to you on this one. A lot of these celebrities right now are applauding this latest ruling from the judge to halt this. And meanwhile, this will go down in flames. This will not work. Paramount Skydance is going to buy Warner Brothers. This is going to happen. Only the feds could stop this, and the feds already cleared it. There's no way. This is just an annoyance to a company that California needs.
Well, let's, for the sake of argument, pretend that was not the case.
Okay, that's more exciting and dramatic. Let's do it. All right, here we go.
Let's say that they were going to be successful on the merits somehow.
Okay.
Warner Brothers Discovery obviously wanted to part off the studio. There's a reason for that. They're not healthy. The combined entity is supposed to be more healthy. Therefore, hopefully you'll be more successful in maintaining the studio, having more projects, and hiring more people in Hollywood. If you're going to threaten that, not only is there going to be the cost lost in all of the initial investment that they've already made, but it's likely that the studio will continue to struggle. They're not in great shape right now with what's been going on with James Gunn and the reconstituted DCU. So this is, again, a cutting their nose off to spite their face kind of a situation. If you want Hollywood and LA to function, you need people to be working. And as Gary properly pointed out, that's not happening right now. That's why a week or so ago when we were talking about this, I was saying it may be too late at this point. From what I have heard, and granted I'm an outsider, but it sounds like people ain't working, and that's not a sustainable situation.
Yeah, I agree. Gary, any thoughts on that before I go to Andy?
No, he's 100% right. The people, the working people, the craftsmen, the people that build sets, the people that work at the studios on a daily basis, they are not working anymore because nothing's being shot. So
how hard is it to find? How difficult is it to find traditional work in entertainment right now in California, Gary?
Well, like I said, everybody that I know, that I've known for at least 20 years, have told me that they have to find new jobs, not in non-industry. I mean, they're probably out like tarring roofs and stuff like that now at this point.
And that, I think, is the more important point. We tend to think of Hollywood as the executives and the talent, the actors, the people in front of the camera. We don't think about the grips, the gaffers, the set design people, the prop makers, all of that stuff. These are guys that are in actual physical production. They're not glamorous jobs. They're not jobs that necessarily make a whole lot of money. They do have practical skills that can be applied, but it is sort of a niche specialty. And if you can't find work, you've still got to pay your family. If you can't find work in your field, you're going to have to go into something else or move. Those are your options. People have to eat.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw a curveball to Andy. Andy, let me zig just a little bit because I know you can handle it. All right, you do the zag, I'll do the zig. Andy, we've seen this before, and it was not very long ago. We watched this happen another time. Different state, slightly different scenario, and then we saw calamity. Here's what happened, and see if you agree with me. When it came time for Tesla to pay Elon Musk a whole bunch of money, Andy, you remember this story out of Delaware? Delaware judge came in and said, no, you're not going to do that. Shareholders voted and said, yes, we want to give him the money. He earned it. Delaware judge came in and said, nope, not going to allow it. Now, Delaware is the state where, LLC after LLC after corporation, everybody wanted to be based in Delaware because Delaware had all of these business advantages. So if you had never stepped in, across the state line of Delaware, if you had never breathed the Delawarean air for a single second, people still wanted to have their businesses in Delaware. And as soon as that judge did that, thinking they were just so smart, so clever, stick it to Elon, Andy, the businesses fled the state like an avalanche of companies getting out of Delaware. Nobody signs up for Delaware anymore. Like, oh my gosh, doesn't matter if they're left or right. They love money. They don't want to be in Delaware. And then what happened with Elon Musk, Andy? He became a trillionaire anyway. That's what's going to happen here with California. They are on the Delaware path. What say you?
Well, I'm in New Jersey, so I'm in California East. We just lost Exxon, who had been incorporated in New Jersey since their formation. They've left. New Jersey tops the numbers in people leaving their state for something else, usually a more red state that's more business and citizen friendly. The things that are happening here, like our schools are dropping because people are taking their kids out of here. They don't want their kids growing up in this environment with some of the subjects are being taught in the classrooms that they don't have any control over. The migration is happening, and what it's going to do is going to leave. You're going to have Detroit on each coast. You're going to have New York is headed that way. You have California headed that way. You're going to be chasing anybody because all you're doing is attracting people in there that are looking for someone to eat. They want to gobble up the means of production and then wonder where, why isn't anything out there anymore? Well, you ate it all. You went in there and you destroyed the goose that lays the golden egg. I don't think it's going to come back in Hollywood. I think Hollywood is done, specifically because like George Lucas just said the other day, that AI is the future of filmmaking, and you're not going to stop it. And you can make AI anywhere. You just put yourself up anywhere next to this one of these data centers that are going up in these places. And what do you need Hollywood for? It used to be you had beautiful scenery out there, and it's a lovely state. It's absolutely gorgeous, but you can create any environment you want with a computer these days. You don't need to actually be there. And if you want to have a physical set, you can find something else that can make that happen. I believe Mel Gibson was talking about this. He was shooting a film, and they wanted to do like a pickup shot. It was going to take 1 day in Los Angeles. It was cheaper for him to fly the entire crew over to Bulgaria for 2 weeks rather than film 1 day in Los Angeles. That's not even close to being sustainable.
Yeah, and I'll say this when it comes to these companies leaving, because apparently they don't care. Like California doesn't care. It is full self-immolation. They can burn down an area the size of the city of Paris. Nobody pays a price for it. Nobody can build their houses back. Nobody pays a price for it. They drive companies out of there. Nobody pays a price for it. They've reached corruption escape velocity. But for the naysayers who might still be listening, saying it'll never happen, Hollywood's always going to be Hollywood. Lauren, is it okay to say what state that you reside in? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. I've said it many times.
Go for it.
I live in Washington State.
What is the one company that's most synonymous, would you say, with Washington State?
Microsoft.
Okay, beyond Microsoft. You beat me on that one.
Okay, Starbucks.
Thank you. Lauren, where is Starbucks going now?
Tennessee.
So, folks, we shouldn't celebrate that, right? What we should say is that's a darn shame that a place like Washington is losing a company that is so, closely related with it. because we want states to be distinct and special, but they have to treat their companies as if they're special because they are. And it seems to me that California is not treating Hollywood or the studios very specially right now. All of that tax break stuff that they were doing, all the slush fund that was going to go towards saving entertainment, gave most of it to Disney, for Pixar, for a film that's going to get made either way. Hext. This is the kind of stuff they're up to. They're paying the fat cats. They're saying goodbye to their political enemies. It's just too bad the political enemies are going to take a whole lot of taxpayer money with them. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for checking out the video today. It's such a pleasure every time we get to endeavor together explaining entertainment and keeping you ahead of the culture curve. If you would be so kind, folks, swerve on down to that like button wherever you may find it and click it, please. It helps us. And you are the gigawatts that send us far and wide across the fruited plains of YouTube. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.